In this video, I wanted to show you all how to create a hex map using the Augur. So we're going to be starting from this blank map, and we right click anywhere on this map and press on new location. And now we select hex map, and here we are going to be presented with these options. And I like using this option, which creates a map with this hexagonal, this overall hexagonal shape. Okay, and here you can change the size. And let's say that for the biome, I'm going for, okay, let's say I'm going for this one, the boreal biome, and I'm gonna roll a couple times. And let's add perhaps a little bit more water here, so we have kind of a lake down here. I think this one, okay, a little bit more vegetation. I think this one is good for an adventure. Okay, so we accept it, and here we can add some random settlements. I'm gonna leave it disabled for now, so we'll add them manually. Okay, we have some more options. You can place fog of war here, and here you can put a name. Let's just call this the Broken Valley. Okay, we accept, and now our map is created right here, and we press on Open Map. All right, and this takes us to the hex map that we just created. And if you want this to be the main map of your game, you go here to location settings, and then you press here on make default main location. Okay, what this will do is that when you are in a different map, you will get a button here that will get you back to this hex map. Now let's add a settlement. I think that's always the first thing I like to do on my games, and it makes sense that it's near this coast down here, okay, or lake. So we right click on an empty hex, we press new location, and now we have the options for settlements. Okay, and here we can select the type of settlement. We can set castle, city, coastal village, or village. Okay, let's say we pick the coastal village, and we have some images here and some information about this settlement that is generated on the fly, and we also get some NPCs. All right, we can press here to roll a couple times until we get one that we like. Okay, so let's say that we pick this one, windswept, for the settlement name, and it has these options: prosperity modest, scattered population, okay, wreckers luring ship to their doom. That's the trouble that's affecting this settlement. Okay, so that could be a quest hook for later. And we have these NPCs here, but first let's accept the settlement, which we'll add it here on the hex. And if you want to change the positioning, what you can do is, if you right click anywhere on this map, you can disable grid snapping. Then you can drag this and put it closer to the coast, for example, so it lines up almost perfectly. And if you double tap, you can increase the size of the icon. Okay, so let's say I think like this looks okay, right? All right, so we have this settlement right here, and let's see one of the leaders here. We have this this fellow here, Baldrin. All right, he has these properties start as unknown, so you can rebuild them as you play. But let's say if we press here, it is revealed: complete a pilgrimage to a sacred site of great importance. Okay, so the leader of the settlement, he wants to complete, to make a pilgrimage to a sacred site. That to me screams dungeon. Okay, so we could use that to create a dungeon somewhere on this map. I'm doing this all on the fly, okay? So it's just the first thing that comes to mind when I read this character's description, okay? So let's say that I want to create a temple or something over here that this character wants to do a pilgrimage, so maybe we can help him do that in our adventure. Okay, so let's say it's over here, or let's see, yeah, let's say it's over here by these mountains. Okay, so we right click, new location, and let's say it's a dungeon, and we have some options here. Let's say this dark temple. Okay, and here the same, you can press here to re-roll. We also get a map for this settlement, so let's roll a couple times, and you see that everything changes, the description, the zones, we get a different map. Let's roll one more time. Okay, let's say we pick this one, We have these zones here that were generated. They start as unknown, but they can be revealed once we accept the map. Okay, so we press accept, and the map is placed here. Now, if this is some kind of temple that means or used to mean something to the settlement, it's likely that there is a road going here, an old road maybe, and we can put that here in this hex map with the Augur. Okay, so we right click on the hex map, and there's the option hex map tools, and in here you have this roads option. All right, it's a press on a hex to add a road. So let's say we start from here, from the settlement, then you go clicking on every hex basically. Okay, so we press here, all the way to our temple. Okay, so that's an old road that connects the settlement to the temple. And now let's say that perhaps there is another road maybe. So perhaps this settlement here, maybe here we have another settlement here, a small village. Okay, so our road goes all the way here, and we have a village here. Okay, so let's close the. By the way, you can edit the hexes. For example, let's say that we want to add more forest. All you do is you press here on any of the tiles, and then you press on the hex map. Okay, and that will add the hex. You can add anything you want. So you can add some clips here, and you can even add some crazy stuff like this volcano. Let's say that for some reason there's a volcano here in the middle. I don't know. You can let your imagination fly here. Okay, let's put it back to how it was. Okay. All right. So as I said, let's say we put a village here, new location, settlement, and let's add or maybe a castle. Yeah, I think a castle would be cool to have a castle up here. Maybe the lord of this castle is the one who controls this village, something like that. Okay, again, we can roll a couple times, and let's say that we accept this one. Okay, and we get our castle here, Crystal Gate. Again, you can double click and to increase the size if you want. And this right here could be the start of an adventure. I think this map, just as it is, we could add more things around if we wanted. Let's say we want to add some enemies, new foe. We have all these foes here, and all you have to do is drag and drop them. For example, let's say that here on these crossroads there are bandits, so we drop the bandit here. We could also add something more like a formidable monster, a mythical monster that lives high up in these mountains, something like that. And if we right click on this monster right here, we could select show name, and it will show the name for all the foes. That's how you toggle the names for different things. You can do the same for the settlements. For example, if you press show as token, then instead of the icons you see a token with the image that's on the detail panel. Okay, it's a different way to play. I think it also looks good, so you could play like this or with the icons. It's up to you. Okay, and finally I think we should create our character that we will use in this adventure. We press this button right here, and let's add some clothing here. Let's say that it starts with this armor, and we give him some pants, of course. And let's change the background because this one is particularly bad for characters. Okay, so let's say that we want to place him in a dungeon, something like this. Okay, I like this one. There are a bunch you can choose from, but I like this one. Okay, so weapons, we have all these weapons. Let's say you want to give him an axe or perhaps a claymore. Okay, so let's give him this, and we could also give him a shield. There are different types of shields. There are more traditional shields like this one, like a leather-bound shield, and so on. Okay, so let's go with this. I think I'm gonna change the color. I'm gonna change the background again to something darker. Something, yes, this one looks better. Okay, and let's say its name is David. And if you're playing Iron Sword, you can fill these stats right here. If you aren't, then you can use the system agnostic mode that comes with the Augur. Done with character creation, you can access your character from this button down here, and you can drag him either from this image right here or from the token in the toolbar. Okay, so let's say that our character starts here on this settlement, and during our travels or our adventure we meet this Barden character, And he tells us that he wants to complete a pilgrimage to a sacred site of great importance. Okay, so he wants to go to the Shrouded Temple for some reason. Better yet, maybe he wants us to secure the Shrouded Temple before, or for his people, for the people of the settlement he rules. Okay, that could be a quest starter. All right, so let's say we are traveling in our hex map and we face these bandits. I'm gonna do like a quick overview of how I would play this. Okay. And if you are playing Iron Sword, you could start Cobalt with this bandit. So let's say we defeat them. Alright, so we continue our travels and we arrive to the Shrouded Temple. Alright, here you can open the map of the temple, right? And this is what you get. Okay, you get a basic map where you can drag your character. You can also drop zones that were generated when you created the temple, and you can also add new zones right here. For example, let's say that I want to create an entrance, okay? And we press on add, and this creates a new random zone, okay, that you can drag and you can drop here. And if you double click, you can then point it here to the entrance. And let's say our character just entered this room. So in the enter, if you tap here, you will see the entrance. You can press here to reveal. So a mural chamber, feature bloodstained altar. So somewhere in this room there is a bloodstained altar, and if you think or your dice rolls tell you that there's some kind of opportunity here, you can use this here. It said there's a forgotten cultist diary. Okay, that could be a hook for another adventure or to give more detail to this dungeon. If you want to go back to the whole dungeon panel, you press here and you can drop some more zones here. Let's say we put this here and we put this relic vault, which would be kind of like the boss room, so to say. So I'm gonna wire this quickly to different rooms. So let's say that the script is down here and this worship hall is here. Okay, and if you want to put enemies here or foes, let's say that this Scarlet Prophet, he'd probably be in the relic vault, like he's the big boss. Okay, we can drop some of these like acolytes, that low level enemies, and we can drop some other ones around the dungeon. Okay, by the way, you can toggle grid snapping again, so if you drop them they will drop right in the middle of the grid that comes with the map. Okay, so you can play this way, and if you press on these enemies, they have descriptions, they have features, drives, tactics, and if you're playing Iron Sword, they come with a combat tracker that you can use to play using the Iron Sword rules. Okay, in this video I'm covering more how to create your world, how to create your hex map and hex scrolls rather than the rules, but I do have videos covering Iron Sword rules. If you haven't played, by the way, remember this is the button that takes you back to the main map. If you haven't played Iron Sword or Starforge, you should totally check them out. They're amazing for playing solo RPGs. They are the reason why I made this tool. But the Augur is a lot more than just a tool for playing Iron Sword or Starforge. For example, we just made this map. This is a entirely self-contained adventure right here that we made in 10 minutes. Best part is that you can export this hex map that we just made. If you right click and you go to export map, you have this option, this panel right here, where you can select what will appear on the map. Let's say, for example, that you don't want the characters to be shown on the map and you don't want the foes to be shown on the map, but you do want the locations and the dungeons. Okay, but let's say that we want this to be as icons, okay, because that makes more sense on a hex map. And then we can add a background here or not. So let's say that this is the map that we want. We press on export, and the Augur takes a couple seconds to generate the map. So it just made an image file and it's downloaded, and you can see it right here. And if we press here, you see that now we have a PNG file of the map that you can upload to another program. If you're using something like Roll20 or something like that, or whatever you're using, you can now use the hex map that you just generated. So that's it for this video. I wanted to show you everything I could about the hex maps and how you can play a hex scroll in the Augur in under 10 minutes. I think I almost made it. It's got a bit longer than that, but you get the idea. If you want to learn more about the Augur, you can check it out at augurbtt.com. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, why not subscribe to the channel and leave a like? It really helps the channel to get more views, and it helps me to keep developing the Augur. Thank you, and see you on the next one.